Ida bhikkhu bhikkhu kaye kaya nupasi viharati Atapi sambhajano satima vineya loke beja domanasam. A bhikkhu dress contemplating the body in the body. He contemplates the feeling in the feeling. He contemplates the consciousness in the consciousness. He contemplates the Dhamma in the Dhammas. Ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful. And the result is he can overcome desire and discontent. He can reach the noble path, and he can realize the Nibbana, cessations of aging, sickness and death. Nibbana Parama Vadanti Buddha. Buddha said that Nibbana is supreme. Buddhists have no doubt about whether Nibbana is supreme. But if they were asked, you have to choose. You go to fanfare or you go to Nibbana. So their choice would be fanfare or festival or music festival. Their choice would not be Nibbana. Or in other words, if they were asked which way you would follow, the way to Nibbana or the way to wealth, only a few of them would select Nibbana. Very few people select the Nibbana, but many others, the way to wealth, they want to be wealthy, they want to enjoy their life, so they choose the way for wealth. At one time, a senior monk gave a Dhamma talk. He gave a talk that people undertake a Vedic Yadaya rather than Dhamma Yadaya. So people often rush to the Vedic Yadaya. Yadaya means Vadiktam. That means to prevent impending misfortune or to realize one's dream by doing something as advised by an astrologer or a fortune teller. Fortune teller or astrologer may advise them to make arrangements like dressing in such color, doing something in a certain way on a certain date, and so on. So fortune teller or astrologer told them, and they have to follow by doing Vedic Yadaya. But not the Dhamma Yadaya. If you consult the Dhamma teacher, Dhamma Yadaya refers to some wholesome deeds. You have to develop metta, loving kindness. You have to develop karuna, compassion. You have to practice meditation, take refuge in the Triple Gem, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and doing something for others' well-being, and so on. These are Dhamma Yadaya, Dhamma therapy. Only a few wise people can do such Dhamma therapy, Dhamma Yadaya. But those people are very wise. So Buddha say, Nibbana Brahma Vadanti Buddha. Nibbana is supreme. People may accept it in general. They superficially wish for Nibbana. May I attain Nibbana? But still prefer sensual pleasures. Anyhow, Nibbana is supreme. We need to appreciate Nibbana empirically. We need to appreciate Nibbana deeply. The Buddha said, Yawata Bhikkhve Dhamma Singatawa Asingatawa Virago Desan Dhammana Ega Mekhayati. Buddha said, Bhikkhus, whether phenomena are conditioned or unconditioned, the most supreme among them is viraga, non-attachment. The most supreme among them is Nibbana, asinkata. All mind and matter or all psychophysical phenomena on earth are conditioned. Unconditioned asinkata is only Nibbana. Nibbana is unconditioned. So the conditioned phenomena are countless in number. Unconditioned is only Nibbana, which means the cessation of attachment superior to anything else in the world. So Sankata, the Pali term means, Sankata means conditioned. That refers to our mind and matter. That refers to our mental and physical phenomena that constitute all the people and all the things around us. These are Sankata. If you observe your body carefully, you can find everything in your body is conditioned. For example, happiness arises in you when you see something or when you see someone you love. So a desirable object is a condition for your happiness or pleasant feeling to arise. So happiness or pleasant feeling is considered the conditioned. Happiness or pleasant feeling is considered Sankata. In the same way, happiness will arise in you when you hear pleasant sound. Happiness will arise in you when you smell fragrant scents. Happiness will arise in you when you eat tasty food. Happiness will arise in you when you touch something soft or someone lovable, or when happiness will arise in you when you think of something desirable. So such pleasant feeling is called sensual pleasures, which is conditioned. You would feel happy to see a desirable object only when certain conditions are met can you see something desirable. First of all, there must be an object pleasant to see. There must be beautiful dress. There must be beautiful furnitures. There must be lovable person, or there must be lovable anything else pleasing to you. Nowadays, movie or something is a series of photographic shadow which involve no real performance. At one time, one person said that her children often went to a movie, but she did not because she said they were all about shadows, but no real performance to be found there. So she rather watched a show in which real person perform. So a movie is an illusion, but it is an object pleasing to people. So a visual object pleasurable to see is a necessary condition for the seeing consciousness and resultant happiness. In the same way, pleasant sound is to be created. Pleasant sound is a condition for hearing consciousness and resultant happiness. Of course, you cannot easily get pleasant object, visual or audible. You have to pay price for them. To get a pleasant object or visual or audible is not easy. Sensory pleasures can take place only when certain conditions are met, like fragrant scents, delicious food, something soft to touch, something pleasant to think of. So people always need sensory object to have sensory pleasures. So it is necessary to provide sensual object to have sensual happiness. Psychophysical phenomena, no matter however pleasant they may be, are conditioned and impermanent. They would be a bit better if you can take care of them constantly. For example, a light bulb shining for the whole night demands constant supply of electricity for the whole night. And also there are many other conditions for the light bulb to keep shining. The light would disappear the moment the required conditions are not met. Say when its wire disconnection breaks or something gets wrong because of the storm and some kinds of strong weather get wrong with this power station, the electricity cut off. In the same way, if you stop feeding the sensual pleasures with sensory objects, sensual pleasures would immediately disappear, leaving displeasure behind. So sensory pleasures is obviously conditioned. All conditioned phenomena are impermanent. Pleasant feelings are pleasurable while they are present. When conditions are not met, they disappear, leaving sadness behind. So we should understand all kinds of psychophysical phenomena in the same way as these feelings. Sensual pleasures is what people really care for, what they describe as human bliss or heavenly bliss, and what they even glorify as earthly Nibbana, Loka Nibbana. So we are talking just about the pleasant feeling so that you can understand the difference between the so-called earthly Nibbana and the real Nibbana the Buddha proclaimed. So Buddha described as no attachment or cessations of attachment, viraga. That means the attachment has no access to Nibbana. It signifies the cessations of attachment and attachment generated psychophysical phenomena. If you realize Nibbana through the Arhata Mega enlightenment, you can get rid of the attachment that would otherwise generate rebirth, the new process of psychophysical phenomena. Then you will no longer suffer from aging, sickness, death, physical and mental distress, and whatsoever calamities. So all kinds of suffering will cease right there. So this is the only way to the realistic cessations of suffering. There is no alternative. Ekaya no ayam bhikkhu mego satana visuddhiya nyaya sadikamaya nibbana sa sichikriyaya. These four foundations of mindfulness is the only way to realize Nibbana. Some people proclaim the heaven or paradise where there is no suffering, like aging, sickness, and death, but it is not realistic. Also in the Buddhism, there are celestial beings called Deva and Brahma who live extremely long. Certain kinds of Brahma live for 84,000 of world cycles. No wonder they think they are immortal. For example, Bhagat Brahma has lived for some 30 or 40 world cycles. Even a single world cycle is extremely long. Having lived that long, Bhagat Brahma thought he was immortal. He never died. On one occasion, Bhagat Brahma warmly welcomed the Buddha to his abode during his visit there. At that time, Bhagat Brahma proudly said to the Buddha, "Welcome, Buddha Gautama. Our abode was blessed with immortality. In our Brahma realm, there is no aging, sickness, and death." So Buddha had to teach Bhagat Brahma that it was under illusion that he was immortal, while he was not escaped from the aging, sickness, and death. In the Brahma realms, also there are death. They are, they are not immortal. Eternal bliss is only Nibbana, which is nothing to do with psychophysical phenomena that are subject to aging, sickness, and death. Before the attainment of Nibbana, you may enjoy a relatively blissful life in the human or heavenly abode from time to time. But our human lifespan is quite short. Indeed, during such short period, you may encounter a great deal of calamities. Even deities, Deva, encounter woes in their own form. As for Brahma, they don't have any woe, but they are not immortal. Brahma are going to die in the end. So a Brahma is liable to be reborn in one of the deities' abode or in the human abode, where he may commit some misdeed that would lead him to woeful state. So heaven cannot guarantee the ultimate cessation of suffering, but only Nibbana can guarantee the ultimate cessation of suffering. Only Nibbana is eternal. Eternal bliss is only Nibbana. Nibbana is duwa. So can you follow me? Nibbana is duwa. Nibbana is eternal. Eternal bliss is only Nibbana. Nibbana is duwa. Nibbana is eternal. Eternal bliss is only Nibbana. And then Nibbana is the ultimate protection. Nibbana is Dana. Children, in the event of danger, naturally approach to their parents for protection. Children believe parents would protect them from any danger. And people work hard day and night in pursuit of sensual pleasures that they elusively believe as protection and solace. Of course, they can enjoy sensual pleasures, the so-called earthly Nibbana, to some extent. However, sensual pleasures has nothing to do with the protection. It never protects us against aging, sickness, and death, and any kinds of physical and mental distress. Whereas, when you attain Nibbana by practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, you are fully protected against all kinds of physical and mental distress. So in this sense, Nibbana is honored as the ultimate protection. Nibbana is Dana. Nibbana is the ultimate protection. Can you follow me? Nibbana is Dana. Nibbana is the ultimate protection. Nibbana is Dana. Nibbana is ultimate protection. A lot of good qualities in Nibbana. Because of this, you wish for Nibbana. You practice Vipassana meditation to reach Nibbana. And Nibbana is the ultimate shelter, ultimate sanctuary. Nibbana is Lena. In our world, nothing can promise us reliable shelter. In other words, there is nothing in our world we can take refuge in. There is no sanctuary from such woes as aging, sickness, and death, or from the torturous cycle of suffering. Even celestial realms of deities of Brahma cannot serve place for us to hide from such calamities. It is only Nibbana, which is the ultimate sanctuary, which is the ultimate shelter, where you are safe from all kinds of suffering. You are safe from aging, sickness, death, and mental and physical distress, and so on. In Nibbana, there is no aging, sickness, death, and all kinds of danger. So Nibbana is honored as Lena. That means it is the ultimate shelter, ultimate sanctuary. Can you follow me? Nibbana is Lena. Nibbana is the ultimate shelter. Nibbana is the ultimate sanctuary. Nibbana is Lena. Nibbana is the ultimate shelter. And then Nibbana is honored as ultimate reliance. Nibbana is Prayana. Nibbana is the ultimate relief. It is the ultimate reliance. For this reason, Buddha described the Nibbana as supreme. Nibbanam Paramavadanti Buddha. So it is very important to reach such unique state of Nibbana. You have a lot of perseverance, ardent energy to reach Nibbana. Nibbana is only during the dispensation of the Buddha that we can get a chance to learn the Buddha teaching and to practice for the attainment of Nibbana. To meet the Buddha teaching is very, very difficult. So to learn the Buddha teachings means to understand them comprehensively enough to put them into practice. So can you follow me? Nibbana is Prayana. Nibbana is Prayana. Nibbana is the ultimate reliance. Nibbana is the ultimate relief. There are many people who claim as dedicated Buddhists, but they get no chance to learn how to practice correctly for the attainment of Megaphala and Nibbana. Of course, these people do good deeds, but they may not get a chance to learn the correct method of Vipassana for the Megaphala enlightenment. Even though we are fortunate enough to learn the correct method, it would be useless if we cannot put it into practice. Even if we put it into practice, it would be still very difficult for us to accomplish our purpose unless we have a good access to a qualified teacher. Only when all conditions are favorable, we can get a chance to practice successfully. Moreover, there are also many people who are so occupied with worldly business that they cannot even spare a time to practice. Worldly business never finish, but very fortunately you have a very good chance to have time to practice intensive retreat. Indeed, only when all the conditions are met, we can get a chance to practice. So when you get a chance to practice, don't take it for granted. Try to seize this golden opportunity and put great effort in the practice for the attainment of Nibbana, superior to any attainment as on in this world. So make a firm resolution. I will practice Satipatthana Vipassana or at all costs in order to attain Nibbana, the ultimate cessations of aging, sickness, and death, and also Buddha recommended Nibbana Paramavadanti Buddha. Supreme is Nibbana. So your goal is to reach Nibbana, to attain Megapala and Nibbana and enlightenment. Enlightenment, according to Buddhism, is the realizations of the Four Noble Truths and the eradications of mental defilements. At the moment of your enlightenment, there arises in you a type of consciousness. That type of consciousness is called Mega Chitta or Path consciousness. That consciousness is new to that yogi. He or she never experienced that type of consciousness before. So such a type of consciousness arises, and that consciousness takes Nibbana as object. And at the same time, it is able to eradicate your mental defilements. First, meditator practice vipassana meditation. Now you are doing. At your successful end of your vipassana meditation, meditator gains enlightenment. So following the movements of vipassana meditation, that consciousness, mega consciousness arises and it takes Nibbana as object and it eradicates mental defilements. From that time on, that meditator is said to have gained enlightenment, or meditator is called an enlightened person. At the moment of enlightenment, the streams of vipassana has ceased, stopped, And the consciousness that arises at the moment of enlightenment is path consciousness. At the moments of path consciousness, there is no vipassana consciousness. Since there is no vipassana consciousness, there is no objects of vipassana at that time for the yogi. So for the yogi, both vipassana and its object have disappeared. Instead, there is path consciousness, and that path consciousness takes Nibbana as object of your object. So you have practiced in the correct way, and so by wisdom reach into the cessations of mind and matter, and it is the yogi who realized Nibbana. So meditator have to practice vipassana meditation in a correct way. And as a result of that correct way, the mind of meditator reach into the cessations of mind and matter by way of vipassana insight knowledge. So when you read the discourse and when you read the story, especially in the commentaries, you repeatedly come across description of those people who gained enlightenment immediately after the discourse or at the end of the discourse. So when Buddha gave the first sermon, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, at the end of the sutta, Venerable Kundinya became a Sotapanna. That means Kundinya became enlightened. He didn't seem to have practiced anything at all. He listened to the Dhamma, the first sermon, and then he is said to have gained enlightenment. There are many other discourses, especially in the Dhammavada, where it is mentioned that such and such people became Sotapanna or Arhants at the end of the discourse. So there seemed to be instant enlightenment. So when we read the discourse and other, we may think that those people who gain enlightenment did not have to practice vipassana at all, but that is not true. Because every enlightenment must be preceded by vipassana. So those people went through the stages of vipassana insight knowledge one by one, maybe while listening to the Dhamma, maybe a little after the Dhamma discourse. So yogi have to encourage during listening to the talk, you mindfully be aware, noting, hearing, understanding, and vipassana insight knowledge will be developed quickly. So these people went through these stages so fast that they seem to have obtained enlightenment instantly. without the practice of vipassana. But without vipassana meditation, there can be no enlightenment. Those people who are described as gaining enlightenment at the end of the discourse, while people who had accumulated paramis in their previous life. So meditators have also parami. Previous life you had parami and you reborn as a very good in the very good family, and you have some wisdom or some chance to practice meditation, and many retreats you have been practicing. So you are accumulating paramis. So those people were people who were mature enough to gain enlightenment when the Buddha taught them. So they were like a lotus flowers that were waiting for the sun to come up so that they can open up, so that they can bloom. Such people who have the accumulated experience through previous lives were able to gain enlightenment almost instantly. From the moment of path consciousness onward, a person is called noble person or Ariyas. Since he has become a noble person, his or her moral conduct is very pure. So a person who has reached enlightenment, even the lowest stage of enlightenment, has very pure moral conduct. It is said that he or she will keep the five precepts intact. That means he or she will never break any one of the five precepts, not to kill, not to steal, no sexual misconducts, not telling lies, not taking intoxicant. The commentary said that even in the next life, a noble disciple never kills, never steals, never commits sexual misconducts, never tells lies, never takes intoxicant. Suppose a person becomes enlightenment as a human being, then he or she dies and is reborn again as another human being. When he or she is young or an infant, he or she may not know that he or she is a noble person. But after some time, when he grows up and he knows about his condition, or even when he does not know about his condition, he will not kill living beings and so on. For example of picking up a fish, if you give to that young child a live fish and a dead fish for him or her to eat, he or she will pick up the dead fish and not the live fish. So it is what called the power of Ariya, or the power of good Ariya DNA built in him or her, not to kill, not to break any of the five precepts. There are people who claim to be enlightened nowadays. When somebody claims to be enlightened, We do not know whether he or she is truly enlightened or not, but we can judge from his or her moral conduct. If if he or she keeps the five precepts intact, if he or she doesn't kill a living beings and so on, then it is likely that he or she may be enlightened. But if he or she breaks any one of these rules, we can say definitely that he or she is not enlightened person. So this is one way we can judge a person who claims himself or herself to be enlightened, but watching him or her in the moral conduct. Also, there are persons who think they are enlightened. Now, a lot of people practice meditation, and some yogis, they think they are enlightened. They may have practiced meditation and they may have experienced something they did not experience before. Then they may think honestly that they are enlightened. Such person can also judge themselves by asking themselves, do I break any of the precepts? What do I do when there are insects in my home or mice in my house? Suppose a man think he is an enlightened person if he can stay kill a living beings, kill an insect or ant, then he is not an enlightened person. So an enlightened person keeps his or her moral conduct pure, and he or she will never break any one of the five precepts. Another question is enlightenment for monks only? Or do monks only gain enlightenment? So this question is silly. This question is for those who do not know anything about Buddhism. The answer is no. There were many lay people during the time of the Buddha who gained enlightenment and who became noble person, who became Aryas. There was a young man called Yasa that came to the Buddha after he gave his first sermon, Dhammacakka Sutta. Young man Yasa met the Buddha and the Buddha talked to him and he became enlightened. Also, the father of Yasa became enlightened. He's a lay person. And there were people like King Bimbisara of Rajaga. He was a king of Rajaga and he became enlightened. He's a lay person. So he continued to be a king and rule over his kingdom. He was a Sotapanna. Also, there was a Benga Anathabenika. You're very familiar with that kinds of devotees. Anathabenika had Jetavana monastery in Savatthi built and offered to the Sangha. Also, there was a male lay devotee called Visakha. He also became enlightened as a lay person. There were other people like Cheta, Nakulapita, Mahanama, and Sakchankin, and also the physician Jivaka, they were all lay people and they were all enlightened persons. They continue to be lay people after their enlightenment and they die as lay people. So enlightenment is not for only monks, but actually for anybody who cares to practice vipassana meditation. When the monk practice, he gain enlightenment. When lay people practice, they gain enlightenment. When the monk not practice, they not gain enlightenment. When lay people practice, they become enlightenment. So we will continue next day. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by developing four foundations of mindfulness, may you realize Nibbana, may you obtain the four Megaphala, may you realize real peace in the very near future.